Hello. Hi. Hi. Hello. Oh. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Are you ready for another excellent day of just back in the horn mines? Getting the horns? Getting the twisted horns? Hey, Anticolin. I'm just here. Hope you're doing well. I have I have news. I finally got a quote-unquote wired connection, so... I'm gonna say quote-unquote because it is not, in fact, a wired connection. But it's as good as I'm gonna get. I got a Wi-Fi booster, moved it closer to my room, and then I was also able to plug directly into that. So, from what I can tell, it seems not much faster, but at the very least, much more reliable, much more stable, which is what I wanted. Because when I was doing tests before, I would get spikes of like 3,000 ping. Which is not... like, that's not good. And I wasn't getting that now, so... yeah, that's good. So hopefully... because I was streaming... Stalker Gamma. Again. Having a really good time doing that. I was considering doing that today, but unfortunately, at the beginning of it, and like kind of throughout a little bit, like just the connection was just getting worse. So that was really frustrating. And yeah, it is currently like 12:53 p.m. Yeah, I asked the landlady if I could run a cable to the router, and she's like, no. I knew she would say that, but I figured I should ask. Hey, what's up, Vrinsna? How's it going? You know, it's just kind of like that. Yeah, I got a 100-foot cable for 20 bucks. Yeah. But, you know, having the booster, having the Ethernet cable, this will be useful for future things. I didn't rest. But that's alright. Home from work playing World. Nice. Hell yeah. Sounds like a good day. I will be streaming for around two-ish hours, because I do have to go to work later. You know, I thought I would have like half a second longer than that. I guess not. Charge. Cool. I'm just gonna restart. Do you like how I recovered and then turned around and I was locked in place because I was turning around and I couldn't dive because of that? That's just a good game design right there. I do still need Majestic Horns. I need one more. You would think I would have gotten them, but they're extremely rare. Allegedly not so much, but in my experience, extremely rare. This game's being very mean to me. It's always mean to me. And I swear, anyone who doesn't have trouble with this game, like, they must have just been extremely lucky throughout. Or have been extremely lucky to just ignore when it has been mean, because this game is mean. It's very mean. Damn, dude. The filters I got in the chat and the The model look really nice. I mean, I did it before, adding a stroke to the model and the chat, which is just an outline, but I'm just still surprised how damn good it looks. I ate the wrong thing. Still need to farm silver less than 39. Oof, yeah. I'm hoping you mean in G rank, because I don't think it's really worth it to do it in I rank. You might as well just wait till G rank at that point, because it is going to be such a bitch. But, you know, I think you'll need heavenly scales instead of gems, which is going to be its own nightmare, but I'm not sure. I never bothered. Hey, Gatsama. I was literally watching a video from 2 years ago for a Great Sword combo. Nice tutorial. Nice. Which one? But yeah, good to hear it. Hope you're having a good one. I'm still here. I'm still doing what I can. Now that those things are dead, I didn't bring any traps. That sucks. I think the set you have is good for a Cantor. Yeah, I mean, unless I'm assuming you're doing ranged weapons, right? I would just recommend using a hammer. I think hammer is really good against the Cantor. Yeah, I feel that. The most annoying part about weapon matchups in Monster Hunter is that when you want to try another matchup, you have to farm for it, which is why it's so annoying when people are like, "Hey, could you use Hunting Horn?" And I'm just like, "No." Like, I literally can't unless you want me to go fight like Great Jaggy. I feel like people just assume that I have like, I don't know, all the gear in the game or something. But it's just like, people don't realize what they're asking of me. They're not asking, hey, could you switch weapons for one hunt? They're asking, hey, could you go farm for something? And it's like, no, dude, I'm not gonna stop what I'm doing and go and farm something. It's just not reasonable. In a turn. Shouldn't have done it so far. Yeah. And it's why I think in general Monster Hunter needs to have good weapon balance and needs to have monsters that are balanced for multiple weapons because of that. Because if you just choose wrong, like there is a arguably unlikely scenario of a player choosing the wrong weapon, quote unquote, every time for each encounter and just having an absolutely terrible time. And I feel like at a certain point that is the fault of the developer, you know? Like just having that be a thing is just, you know, without giving us like at least a hint as to what we could do. I don't know. And is he eating? There's this thing too where it's like, it's always a thought where it's like, potentially, you make something like this, it sort of encourages people to, you know, gather information, and like you can find the most, you know, the best way to go about things, or, you know, ways to help out if you're struggling, this and that, or even just playing with others. But unfortunately, that's too much of an idyllic sort of view. Because, I mean, if you look at how things are now, most people don't do that. Oftentimes, like, I'll tell people, like, hey, you should just use this. And they're like, oh, well, I'm using this weapon instead. And it's like, okay, well, I mean, that's fine. But like, you know, you're gonna be struggling more so than if you just use a weapon that would be recommended, you know what I mean? Not to say that people are like stubborn, or not to say that they shouldn't be allowed to be stubborn. Again, I think they should be. But it's just an interesting problem. Yeah, I mean, bow's fine, I guess. The ranged weapons in general, I feel like, are more of a, less limitations, right? If you go up against a monster that's too powerful up close, then, I mean, you're gonna be at a distance. If you go up against a monster that's too powerful at a distance, then you can at least sort of avoid that. And if you have a monster that's too, you know, too high of hit zones, you can either use pierce shots or explosives, or, you know, sleep bombing. You know, there's just, you have so many options that a Blade Master just doesn't. Ranged weapons are just more adaptable at its nature, at its core. Because throughout this series, right, you can think like, hey, oh, I want to make a paralysis longsword, right? It's like, you can't do that depending on what game you're playing, right? Like, I want to sleep dual blades. You can't do that depending on the game that you're playing. But you want a paralysis bow, or a paralysis light bow gun, or a paralysis heavy bow gun? Absolutely, you can do that at pretty much any point in the game, in any of the games. And you know, same with sleep, same with poison, same with piercing, just whatever it is. Like, it's just so much more adaptable, and that's great. I do think that's really good. Obviously, there's a trade-off for that. You're much more susceptible to damage, despite having a higher elemental resistance. Okay, motherfucker. Most of the damage that monsters do are going to be physical anyways, so it only helps so much. Okay. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people use bow guns for Plesioth, which is not a bad choice. Yeah, okay, so he's leaving, right? Alright. That is so dumb. That's such a bad design, oh my god. In isolation, that sort of design is fine. It's just like, I use a sonic bomb, and if it doesn't work, I know for a fact he's leaving. You know, unless I messed up the sonic bomb timing, I didn't realize. But it just sucks. It just feels bad, if nothing else. Yeah, Dose is its own nightmare. Nightmare, nightmare, nightmare! If anyone's struggling with Plesioth, I'd say just use a gun lance. Nice backyard I got here, thanks. Appreciate it. I want to continue through you. So annoyed with the capture quest I was attempting. Yeah, I feel that. Get him pregnant? I really think so. That'll probably help my chances. You think I'll get a, I think I'll get a Majestic Horn in the alimony? I threw it too early. Wow. I don't have the timing down for when he's exhausted. I don't think I have to aim down, do I? Nope. Not really. Double kill? Yeah, actually. Damn, you're right. Good double chances. Need to drink a hot or a cold drink. I pushed square, but it didn't do anything, and now I'm just not gonna try. Oh, well, it wouldn't have done anything either. I shouldn't have done that. Whatever, it's fine. He's almost dead. Plesioth is my favorite monster right after Raging Rajan. That says a lot about you, and it's not a very good thing, honestly. There's very little overlap between Plesioth and Rajang, except that they're considered to be difficult, so... Yeah, I can't really say what my favorite monster is. And usually my favorite monster is like... I don't know, design-wise, I guess. Oh. Rajang's cool. He's got accurate hitboxes, which is nice. I feel like if you use evasion skills against him, it's a lot more manageable. Diablos is a cool, you know, monster design. It's just sometimes he is just way too much. Favorite monsters Ash and Lao. Why? it's just a blue Lao Shanlong. I mean, look, guys, you can have a favorite of any kind, and you don't have to explain yourself. But just understand that it sounds a little weird sometimes. Cause blue? Fair. See? There you go. That's fair. Honestly, I guess I'm thinking mechanically, but honestly, if you like Lao because he's a big fuck-off monster, which is valid, very valid, but you like the blue one because he's blue, then absolutely, yeah. Honestly, I'm not sure what I would say. I like them both, honestly. Design-wise and thematically, I really, really like Lao Shanlong, but mechanically, especially because he cannot die until he's in the last area, that's like the main thing. Like, it just sucks. Oh boy. The cooler Lao, so true. Still didn't beat White Monoblos and Dose. He's faster and he's just running. Yeah. You mean Black? Oh no, yeah. Monoblos White. I remember when I played 4 Ultimate and I stopped at Diablos because he was just such a fucking piece of shit. It was such an awful time. And it's funny that I don't remember that when I played because I didn't bother fighting him more than once. You know what I mean? Why would I? It was such an awful time. Okay, sure. Yeah, use the pillars, guys. Use the pillars, by the way. I like the Lao weapons and armor. True. I just hate farming them. They do look really cool, though. Honestly, they look unique in the sense that, like, nobody bothers to farm for them. Because, again, like, why would you? They're not, like, particularly good stat-wise. And, like, they just take so much effort to get for, like, not enough reward. That being said, I mean, if you are able to play the game as the developers intended, like, you know, then everything is viable, everything is reasonable, but we can't do that because the way that the developers want us to play is honestly a pretty narrow, it's a pretty narrow sort of experience. Obviously, also, we just can't do the PSP thing anymore. Even in the 3DS days when Generations was a thing, I only played with my friend in person like maybe 3 times total, and we never played again. I played a lot of online multiplayer, and it was some of my funnest times playing Monster Hunter, but that's it. Lao has one of the best bows in Freedom Unite. You talking about the Acantor bow? Because that's not from Lao. Yeah, yeah. Jen, absolutely. Like, when I first fought Darren Morin in the intro to 4 Ultimate, I was like, holy shit. Well, not even then, really. Mostly, like, when I refought him again and, like, farmed him and stuff. Or maybe it was in Generations. And this, of course, with Dalamudor as well. Like, I realized that, yeah, Lao Shanlung and Shen Georin, they were very awkward and very, like, you know, kind of not great. But without them, we wouldn't have gotten, you know, Nakarkos, Dalamudor, Jen, and Darren Morin, which are honestly really fun fights. I would even say Zora Magdaros is really fun. It's a bit more flawed than some of the other like huge monsters for sure, especially because you just have to wait for a lot of the fight. But like I still really like it, especially more than Lao Shanlung, of course. But that's not hard to do. Lao Shanlung is very cool, especially, again, if you're in a group, which is the intended experience. I might be dead, never mind. But, like, you know, again, that's just bullshit. Like, every single time that happens is just bullshit. That is just bullshit. He just randomly does an instant, like, you know, attack like that when he's underground. It's fucking stupid. There honestly shouldn't be like any variance in an attack like that. It's so annoying. See a lot of Freedom Knight bow speedrunners that use it. Are you talking about the heavy bowgun? Because the heavy bowgun, the Lao heavy bowgun's really good. The spread dragon one? Is that's just the one that they use for Fatalis, right? I mean, because of the armor mode or whatever. I wouldn't say that that's particularly good. The only time I've seen it used is during, like, you know, Crimson and White Fatalis to just ignore his armor mode. Yeah, Zora's really cool. The Nergigante part's cool, yeah. But, yeah. Dragon Bow Chaos, yeah, I know. I know what you're talking about now with the spread dragon. It's just I've only ever seen it used against Crimson and White Fatalis. So they could just spam him during his armor mode. But I would rather do other things than that, honestly. Maybe it's good. I've never really done it myself, to be honest, but to be fair, I don't really want to farm any of the Fatalises. They're very boring. Cetalon and Teostra, really? Yeah, there's no... I don't think there's a low rank Fatalis armor, is there? Or is it just the black set? But I'm pretty sure that's an high rank. Because you can get very early Fatalis weapons from the Fatalis sword in the farm. Shit. That was greedy. Yeah, Fatalis is just boring. Like, I fought him in G rank for the video, and I was like, surely the G rank one will kick my ass, and like, I might even struggle to like put out a video, but then I found out that my entire strategy didn't change at all. Like, don't get me wrong, it's a much more involved fight than something like this, but like, it's also much less interesting, a lot less fun. And that's saying something because this isn't really that great either. Okay. Okay. I'm aiming too far ahead of him. Whoops. Finally got the Raging Bracky Charge Blade World. Hell yeah. What's it called? The, oh, I could have flashed or sonic bombed him. And since I can never tell how much time I have, that's why it's such fucking bullshit, dude. So many times when he's not enraged, like, I'll try to throw a sonic bomb and he'll just come up immediately. Like, I can't consistently do it unless I'm already ready. Honestly, not being able to use sonic bombs against enraged Diablos it's just so boring, dude. It sucks. Like, when he's not enraged, I have an option. I have an answer to his dumb bullshit. But once he's enraged, I just have to wait. So annoying. Like, yeah, it makes the game harder, I guess, but like, it's just annoying. I think it went to 11. Hey, what's up, Yuma? Yeah, there's no low rank Fatalis, so. Where the fuck did he go? Area 9? It's not gonna be there when I get there. Well, now I have to kind of camp area 10 and 11. I swear, if he came to 11 in the time that I went to 9 to check... This game fucking sucks, oh my god. Give me the Majestic Horn. Give me the horn. Oh, it's just chilling out? Hell yeah. Gaming. Yeah, I don't know why they changed it from 2nd gen. I think they were like, oh, people have it figured out since 2nd gen. We gotta change things up. And then they just changed it for the sake of changing it. There are some changes in 3rd gen that I really like. Like, the triple charge is an interesting enough idea. I don't mind that. His stupid Devil Joe, like, double bite is just annoying, but, I mean, it's fine. His backup, like, charge is kind of annoying too. His regular charge having, you know, it's just fine. Like, I don't know. I guess there's only so much you can do to Diablos, but I feel like they kind of just... They made like 1 or 2 tweaks to him, added a couple of moves, and then they were just like, fuck it, that's good enough. And it's just like, what? Like, this monster is ass. Like, what are you doing? Don't release it like that. But yeah, in low and high rank Guildhall at least, in Freedom Unite, Diablos is just so slow underground. And then in Netcode's quests and G rank, he's doing it again. It was a lot better because like you didn't have to wait the whole time. Everyone pray for Horn, yeah, for real. Like and subscribe for Majestic Horns. Check the descriptions to my different channels for Majestic Horn. If you don't see it, it'll show up eventually. Oh fuck. And I absolutely hate when monster designs encourage passive play, like that right there, not like being punished because I decided to try to take an opening that just wasn't long enough. Like, you might think like, oh, well, you have to find the right opening. It's like, well, I found an opening, and sure, it wasn't the right one. But what that translates into, what that really means, is that I just have to wait, and I just have to play safe. And that's not fun. I'm just gonna be honest, that's just not fun. I don't want to play safe, I want to have fun. I want to take risks and do stupid shit, and like, be rewarded sufficiently when when it works out. But instead I just have to wait until I'm like really sure. And then even then, depending on the move that he's doing, like his burrow attack, is just like, it's just not consistent. Yeah, Tigrex just charges in every generation. Although he's a lot better in this one, for sure. Alright, peep this Majestic Horn real quick. Yeah. It's fine, we'll get him next time. Why is the Neko Arc more HT today? Wait, I don't need to go there. Wait, yes I do. I added a stroke and a shadow, so if I turn those off, this is what it normally looks like. But if I turn it on, the stroke looks like that, the shadow looks like that. It looks so good, dude. It looks so good. It's actually kind of insane. And I also added that to the chat. Added a stroke and a shadow to that, and it makes, because without that you can barely even see the chat. It's actually kind of funny. Because like I remember before, I was like, I can barely see the chat sometimes. Like, how do I fix that? And I was like, wait, why don't I just do the things I did for my model? And yeah, sure enough, yep. Prayed for the wrong horn. It's all good. Yeah, stun does work better in new gen. Even in new gen where you can like negate it completely, but I feel like just in general stun is a bad mechanic. It just doesn't it never feels good. It's just, and it never feels, at least, see, the intention I think is you know, you're playing with others, obviously. Everything always ties back to you're playing with other people. And that's great, and that's fine, and that's all well and dandy. But I think the intention was, you know, assuming you don't get one shot or killed in 2 hits or some shit like that, right? You get hit enough times to where you get stunned, and then there's this sort of panic moment where it becomes very intense for a very short period of time, potentially. And I guess to some people that could be a lot of fun, right? Like, oh no, oh gosh, I'm stunned, oh no, you know what I mean? And then also you can call for help. You can be like, oh, hit me, save me, help me, you know what I mean? And then when you both get out of it alive, it's sort of like a trauma bonding thing, right? Like, you guys feel relieved together because like, oh man, that was close, good job, thanks for the help, yeah, you know what I mean? But in practice, in reality, and especially in single player, you're just being punished for being hit. And it's just like, the punishment is I got hit, bro. Why the fuck do I need more punishment? Like, what? And it's not even specific hits. Like, some specific hits will stun you more because it does more of the stun buildup. But, like, okay, that doesn't matter. Like, there's the, like, the only interesting time, in my opinion, where stun is fine is when it's actually, like, a guaranteed status effect, part of the fight. For example, Copperblade Ganga. If they made a couple of attacks from each monster do stun, specifically, and not just any attack at all, then sure, you know what I mean? And sure, I know that some attacks do more stun than others, that just whatever, but like, I don't want it to be a build-up or a thing that I can't even keep track of, because I can't really. In some games, the camera zooms out slightly when you're about to be stunned, but like, that's... I haven't noticed that in modern ones and stuff like that. Hey, what's up, Shadow Reaper? How's it going? But yeah, I don't know. It just feels bad. That's the main thing, is it just feels bad. And there's not really any payoff for it. For, you know, the cost of it feeling bad doesn't really ever feel good, I guess. I mean, I guess you could argue it's one of the things that adds to the feeling of Like, things can go so wrong so quickly, but I don't know. I just feel like in the long term, it's just not great. I think there's a word for that, masochism, yeah. Like, it's fine. But like, it's kind of telling how, at least personally, like, I always just get stun resistance in 5th gen onwards, you know? Yeah, I mean, again, I think the games were all sort of designed to be played in multiplayer. I mean, if you look at what the game tells you in 1st gen about heavy bowgun, it literally says, you know, play with others. The heavy bowgunner is best used when other people can sort of like cover them and take the aggression of the monster and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And that's great. You know, if you have a hammer user with the heavy bowgun, you know, the hammer user can build up a stun, and then the heavy bowgun user can just like let loose and just destroy the monster, and it's this big DPS thing that everyone worked towards to get. Come on, Diablos. I could just go look for him, but I'm lazy. And that's really cool. You know, that's the point of what makes like paralysis and like sleep and stuff like that, weapons specifically, like good, because like on their own in solo, like you don't really want to, generally speaking, you don't really want to use sleep or paralysis unless it just like comes with the weapon. Like I think it's called Darkness, the Lance and G rank in Freedom Unite, that is just a very good weapon that also just has paralysis, making it even better. In multiplayer, status effects are fucking awesome, dude. They're incredible. They're a lot of fun, both for the user and everyone else, and you know, it just works really well. But everything sort of falls apart when we start playing solo. That just kind of sucks. And obviously, well, just play solo, sure. But that only really works when the game is like active, you know, when the game is popular right now. If there's like 100,000 people playing World or Wilds or whatever, then sure, just go play with other people. But you know, once the game sort of passes and the next new thing comes out, each of the games are very good in their own right, you know? And it just kind of sucks for this idea to just kind of let them go, I guess. But, I don't know. The problem is always that you just need others. And not just for Monster Hunter. Ah, imagine if he hit the pillar there, that would have been sick. Okay. Oh, I thought he was going to turn around, but that works too. Yeah, keep charging. That's really working. Keep doing it. One of these days you're gonna get me. Oh. Oh fuck. Dude, I knew it. I knew it. That was gonna be the one where he does it instantly. Because of course the other times it's just like, oh, I don't know, I just gotta run and, you know, just in case, because I can't fucking do anything about it. But of course that's the one where he chooses to do it instantly. If I could consistently assume that he's gonna do, you know, the regular one or the long one, then sure. But I can't. I just have to assume he's gonna do it instantly every single time until I get proven otherwise, and then at that point it's just too late. It's so bad. It's so fucking annoying. Hey Alex, what's up? Yeah, playing Kino game, so true. I'm trying to get a Majestic Horn. Majestic 12. And I'm just bitching about the game, like I always do. There's a cut monster from the first game that would shield itself from shots with its wings, and sword masters are supposed to cut them for the gunners. That's awesome. Holy shit. Yeah, the need and benefit of letting moveset interactions with each monster decreases in multiplayer. It does. It absolutely does. That's the funny thing, too, because, like, people will play Monster Hunter and be like, oh, you know, this is fine, this is easy, this is whatever, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, did you do it solo? Like, you know, what weapon did you use? Like, there are so many factors. And not to say that they're wrong to have an opinion about a video game, obviously. Like, they had their experience, and that's totally fine, and that's great. But, I think I get 4 when he's exhausted, right? Ah, I should have just... whatever. He's in a burrow again anyways. Oh, he's enraged. Never mind, doesn't matter. Potentially leaving this time. Yeah, he's leaving for sure. Right? Yep. Have we tested status with the arc shots yet? No. I don't know. I'm pretty sure they work though, but... like, I'm pretty sure they work. I could try that out. I probably should paintball him, huh? I should just bring paint shots, honestly, at this point. But, oh well. Too lazy to make good use of the mechanics and play the game like a smart person. Well, the Rathalos, like the big dive, that was weird. That had no tracking. Is the tracking just at the start of the charge? That's so odd. Hold on. I think it is only at the start of the charge. I didn't realize that. Yeah, when he does the big dive, like after he flies way up and then he does the big dive attack, that attack is meant to stun you and poison you, which is really dangerous. See, now he's just gonna take forever. And it's not even like if he's facing me or not, because I'm pretty sure I tried it before, or I noticed it before where he was facing away from me and he still did it like really quickly, but I don't know. He's not enraged anymore. I don't want to attack him because I want him to burrow. I'm pretty sure he's at the point where if he takes damage, he'll become enraged. I just want to wait. Like, this type of waiting is fine, because it's, you know, my choice to wait. I don't have to wait. And in multiplayer, I likely wouldn't be waiting. Okay. Okay, motherfucker. Whatever. Yeah, me waiting to get an opening, a bigger opening than I would have had. Yeah, I'm sorry. You trying to play the game and trying to make, you know, informed and good decisions? Nah, fuck you, actually. Because he's leaving the area. Nah, fuck you, actually. Like, what a mess, man. Whatever. It's not that big of a deal, but it is. You can hopefully you can understand why it's fucking frustrating, you know. And he was so close, anyways. Oh, whatever. Whatever. It's fine though, because this was the hunt that I got the Majestic Horn, you know. Like, I can't be upset because I just got the Majestic Horn right here. You can see why I haven't gotten it yet. To be fair, I've only been farming on stream because at this point I don't want to do this alone. Like, it's so it's you know what I mean? You know. It's too much, man. At this point, if I was playing solo, even if I wanted the Diablos set, I'd be like, eh, fuck it, you know, I'll just... Like, I would have looked up the, well, not really. I honestly just wouldn't have gotten it, because it's not really even, like, that necessary. Or I would have, at this point, I would have looked for an alternative to the piece that needed it. Let's go do some farming real quick. I'm running out of seeds. Uh-oh. Stinky. If you're enjoying this stream, feel free to like and subscribe. There's links down below to my Twitter, Twitch, and Discord. If you'd like to follow me or join us. Also, links to my second channel, third channel, and music channel. Hello, Mario. If you're on Twitch, be sure to drop a follow. Oh, I got a fish. I have a fish now. I also got this one. Yeah, the Discord's a cool place. Among! Whatever. I can't be funny enough to do this. Stop posting about Horn! Why? What's going on with the subtitles here? Also, what's going on with the subtitles here?
God, motherfucker, damn, this bit was.
Yeah, whatever. You get it. Whenever I think of Among Us, I always think of a monkey. Mostly because my friend does it too. We do all of the fucking VPN. I don't know. I don't use a VPN, or do I? Good luck, bro. I'm behind 17 firewalls and 14 werewolves. Everywhere I go, it's dig. Hey, what's up, Mecha? Good to see you. Hope y'all are having a great day. Currently 1:41 p.m. in the p.m. for me. I'm happy you're playing Portable Threats and Wilds. Have you checked your Wilds stream? You talking about ending? Yeah, I mean, look, man. It's really difficult for some people to enjoy anything. But I still think that those people are, you know, I still think those people have valid opinions about things, you know? Especially even if I don't agree with them all the time. But it's so fucking annoying when someone dislikes something or is having a bad time, and all they ever hear is people saying, like, no, it's fine. Like, why are you complaining about this? It's totally okay, you know what I mean? Like, it's so frustrating. A big reason why I wanted to make the guide series was because I remember playing Mega Man once, right? And I was just like, this boss is fucking hard. And I'm pretty sure I was using, like, no weapon, because of course I was. Because how am I supposed to know which order I'm supposed to do, right? But, you know, like, it was like some fire boss. I don't remember which one it was. And I was looking it up, and it's like, this is fucking ridiculously hard, like, for no fucking reason. And I looked it up, and everyone was just, like, some people were like, yeah, why is this so hard? It's so difficult. It's way too hard. And then everyone else is just like, oh, no, it's actually not that bad. It's actually really easy. It's not that, I didn't have much trouble with it. And it's like, go fuck yourself, dude. Like, what the fuck? But, yeah, Savage Omega, it just sucks. Seeing other people enjoying it so much when I'm struggling so hard to enjoy it. And I fucking despise the idea of, like, oh, it's just not for you. Come on. Am I stunned now? There we go, stun being a bad mechanic. But you know what I mean? Like, it's so frustrating. And if nothing else, I wanted to be a voice against that. I wanted to be someone saying, actually, yeah, all these fucking people are just delusional. And, like, it's totally fine, and I'm happy that they're having fun. But they're just not fucking paying attention. You know what I mean? They're just because they're lucky enough doesn't mean that people struggling are not, you know, valid. Doesn't mean that what they're thinking, what they're saying is not, you know, doesn't have any validity to it at all. Because the truth is, if the opinion that something is great and is totally fine, etc., is valid, then of course the opposite has to be true, valid as well. Because it's a fucking opinion. But yeah, I mean, I beat Savage Omega with the Hunter support, how most people probably would. But the main reason I disliked it so much was because it was just another fucking expansion that relies on group interaction, which is great and fine and awesome if you have a fucking group to interact with. But I don't. Like I was saying earlier, you know what I mean? Haven't appreciated your work before these streams. Hey, I mean, I'm glad you do now. Glad to hear it. But, you know, like, I don't know, it just sucks. No one should be in a dark place alone. And so I decided, and you know, I'm just the type of person who will say the stupidest things if it would help someone else, right? Like, an easy example is, like, if other people are too afraid to ask a question for fear of, like, sounding stupid, even if I know the answer and I know someone doesn't know, I'll just ask the fucking question, you know what I mean? So they can hear it, but they don't have to ask themselves. If that makes sense? Like, that's just my mentality, because I want to help people. And I don't really care too much about how others, like, see me, you know? Although that's not obviously 100% true, but there is a part of me that is okay with it. But yeah, it's a whole thing. We're gonna get the Majestic Horn today. Today's the day. Keep this horn brick. Oh, imagine. Oh shit, you're getting a 5070? Hell yeah. I saw a 5060 Ti with like 16 gigabytes of VRAM and I was just like, that would be cool. It's about the same price as my current GPU is, but like, yeah, I can't. Oh my god, I'm pushing the wrong buttons. He might be leaving anyways. He's not fucking leaving, I just missed out, whatever. Do it again, bitch. Alright, don't do it again. There we go. Watch him leave now. I fucking hate this game, dude. Honestly, 3rd gen adding so many gimmicks to monsters is honestly kind of a bad thing. Because how the fuck are you supposed to figure it out on your own? That's the whole problem I have. Like, throughout the series, whenever I have... Or honestly in any game, like, I don't have trouble with difficulty. I pushed through and I fought Savage Omega. There's a lot of things that I have a problem with. But honestly, I use Sword and Shield, and I feel like I have a pretty firm grasp about how Sword and Shield works now. It's a lot of fun. And, just like Elatrion, just like Fatalis, it's a very good fight. It's very, very good. But like... It just... I don't like feeling like I am at a disadvantage because I don't know people, you know what I mean? Or because I don't just look up the answer all the time. Because, like, I would like to just play the game and be able to enjoy the game and play the game, like, inside the game, you know? Like, if there's something that I need to know, I feel like the game should tell me, you know? You find using bow in 3rd satisfying? Yeah. I like fighting Diablos with, like this. This is cool. I like making use of the arc shots, because I honestly never do. Because I don't know how to use them. But yeah, this is a lot of fun. Now, Diablos himself... Like, and that's the thing, too. Like, I'm not saying that this fight is bad, right? If I were to be completely objective, this is a pretty good fight, too. I mean, it's a Monster Hunter fight. Of course, it's going to be at least somewhat good. That's just how a Monster Hunter works, you know? I like Monster Hunter, go figure. But there's some things like the charge variability, which has like literally like no indicator as far as I can tell. Again, it's something that I would have to look up. Okay. And then of course that there too I really dislike. I don't like how specifically how he's immune to sonic bombs when he's leaving. I also would prefer if he's gonna leave the area if that was the instant one, you know what I mean? So that I won't be sitting around waiting, thinking that he's going to be attacking when he just leaves instead. Because that just feels like I'm getting blue-balled, and that's just not good. That feels bad. When it's like, okay, he's going to attack, I gotta get ready for his attack, and then he just leaves, it's like, oh, okay. Alright, I guess, you know what I mean? Like, alright. Oh, I fucking... Yeah, I get my fun from the player moveset, too. Like, I like the monster fights, that's the thing that we're using the movesets on, right? To a certain extent. But I swear to God, when I see people saying like, "Wow, that insta-kill move looks so cool. I can't wait to get my ass kicked by this thing." It's like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? Like, you sound fucking stupid, man. Wow, nice. Surely he's going to Area 11. Surely. Nope. Yeah, the gimmicks do make the fights a lot of fun. Like Duramboros, very cool. I've seen a lot of people saying like Duramboros is one of the worst fights. Like they don't know what the fuck to do. Like, you know what I mean? It's just so difficult. And I'm hoping that as soon as they watch my video, they can realize what they're supposed to do during the big spin. And hopefully it's a lot of fun, because I think it's a really cool fight. But I'm lucky because I already knew about the spinning mechanic, you know? Like, and I'm lucky because I have to look up and do a lot of research for these videos. Like, I have so much more fun in this game, in these games, because I have to do research for the videos to make sure I have everything that I possibly can right within, you know, reason. But if I'm playing normally, I don't do any of that, you know? I just try to play the game and, you know, use what the game gives me, use what the game tells me. And the game doesn't give me or tell me a lot of things sometimes, and that's a big problem. I don't want the game to tell me, you know, hey, use this weapon, hey, stand in this position, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, that's not what I'm asking for. I just want it to treat me, like, you know, respect my intelligence, respect my time, and, you know... Honestly, yeah, I would like it for it to tell me, hey, the guild does not recommend using this type of weapon against this monster, right? If anything, giving me recommendations against certain types, or a hint, or anything, right, I think would be really, really good. Like, imagine if somewhere in the game, it would tell you, like, oh, hunters have reported having trouble using Blade Master weapons against Basarios, you know? Except maybe gunlance shelling, something like that. And you know what? I can then use that information in my future hunts. You know, if I'm ever fighting something where I'm having trouble with Blade Master weapons, I can be like, hey, the game told me earlier people are having trouble with Blade Master weapons, and I went to use a range weapon and I had a better time. Maybe that'll work here too, right? But like, the game just doesn't do anything. It does not even make an attempt. Like, there is literally no attempt made for the game to reach to the player and support them and help them through it. It just fucking puts up these goalposts and expects you to figure out how high you're supposed to jump and all this other bullshit, you know what I mean? And some people like that, obviously. Some people would call that not holding your hand. I would say it's not being fair to the player. It's not respecting me. It's not, you know, it's disrespectful, literally. And that's obviously frustrating. But, you know, but again, because this game is intended to be played in multiplayer, it's supposed to be a collaborative effort, right? At least that's the only thing that makes sense to me. Otherwise, it literally makes no sense at all. It's supposed to be a collaborative effort between you and your friends. You're supposed to go up against these monsters and have a tough-ass time, and then, when you guys are done in your hunting session... Maybe you can go home, maybe even people can do their own research, you know, if they like to do that, I guess. Or maybe everyone agrees, like, hey, let's figure this out on our own. Let's not look up any answers, let's not look up any videos or anything. Let's just, you know, do our own little thing, right? Because that's what people had to do back in the day, you know, because there was not really any, you know, information like there is now. Or at least not to the extent what we have now. And that's great. That's honestly a very, very cool time. You know, maybe you guys can split apart after your hunting session and then come back like next time and be like, guys, I figured it out. I found out how to do it. Guys, if you attack Duramboros' legs during the spin, he falls over. And then like, what? No way! We gotta try that! Let's go! You know what I mean? Like, come on. Rodrigo, I'm gonna fucking ban you. Stop being annoying, please. Like, I don't want to hear anything else you have to say, seriously. Like, just think about it, bro. You gotta have more solid principles than that. What are you talking about? The gimmick was pretty obvious, but I don't know how you figure out sonic bombs. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? That's like the same fucking thing. It's just... Look, man, I'm sorry, but I've been ignoring your fucking messages in chat, and it's just annoying, alright? Yeah, the only reason I know about the flash bomb after like the big jump up is because people have told me. Oh, he does tell you? It's not translated? Okay. That's nice. Can I explain how much I enjoy Nibblesnarf after learning the bomb gimmicks? Yeah, that's another thing I've heard too. Like, when people would tell me, like, I fucking hate Nibblesnarf, and I'm like, oh, really? I honestly did not know that people had trouble with Nibblesnarf. But, to be fair, the first time I fought him was in Generations, and I was just using Adept Evasions to avoid him, you know? Yeah, see, that's the thing too. The game needs to prepare you for its future trials. That's what I'm saying here, right? It's just very frustrating when people seem to like be incapable of understanding what I'm saying. Like, if the game sets a precedent, you can then use that information in future encounters when you're struggling or whatever, right? That's just how tutorialization works. The tutorial does not need to be explicit, right? There's many examples of video games, but by Nintendo, by Valve, where the tutorials are invisible. I mean, there's fucking YouTube video essay bullshits about it, right? Yeah, the sonic bombing on his pose attack, like, they give you sonic bombs in, you know, in high rank, I guess. Whoa. But yeah, they don't really tell you how you're supposed to use it, do they? And if they do, it's not really sufficient. Like, they could show you in a cutscene. Even that, I would take that. They do that in World a lot, actually, but I don't think that's very good. Look, if they tell me before, or if I find out, or if I have to use a mechanic specifically, etc., like, look, man, I just need the developers to do anything, okay? Like, anything. But yeah, like you said, like, if you... Sorry, I hate talking about this type of shit. If you have me fighting, for example, Cephadrum, right, or whatever, and you give me the sonic bombs, and like I'm gonna have like an awful time doing it unless I figure out, hey, if I use the sonic bombs on the Cephalos or the Cephadrum to plop them out of the sand, because how the fuck else am I gonna do Liver of Legend, right? That's good tutorialization. I now know if something is swimming or under the ground, a sonic bomb is likely to work. And literally, that's just ingrained in my knowledge now, you know? A lot of things are ingrained in my knowledge now from prior things. Like this triple charge thing. I know to look out for it because I saw Rathian do it. Now I know sometimes monsters might charge or do an attack multiple times and then give you an opening like this, right? Like this is this is fucking elementary school, dude. But like when they don't do that, and specifically when they have fights that just introduce an entirely new thing that you have to figure out, otherwise you will fail. Like, that's just unacceptable for me, and that's my problem with Elatrion, that's my problem with Omega, that's my problem with Fatalis, because there's no precedent set before that fight. It just fucking sucks, man. And it's so frustrating that people just okay this thing, you know? They're just like, whatever. But whatever, man, it's just, I'm so fucking tired. I hate talking about this shit because it's just an uphill battle, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't do anything saying all of this, you know? But obviously I feel like it's important to say, but like, whatever. Yeah, it doesn't work on the crabs. And like, I'm fine if games aren't like completely consistent, sure, that's fine. Some level of consistency is very important, and it's very satisfying as well, you know what I mean? Yeah, the crabs, yeah. And the only reason I know that you can use sonic bombs on Daimyo's blocking is because I looked it up, or because I found it out online. That's the only reason. Yeah, just get your horn and shut up, honestly, yeah. Yeah. Sorry, Rodrigo, I doubt they're still here, but... I get very passionate, I guess. And I usually get real angry and all frustrated. I like to use the word frustrated because I'm not like angry. I'm not upset with you. I'm just frustrated. Sorry. Hey, what's up, Mephisto? Passionate lover, yeah. The main thing for me is just it's so difficult for me to enjoy things. I've had to use logic my entire life, and so I'm trying to logic my way into enjoying things. And when I can't do that, it's extremely frustrating. I can't just enjoy things for what they are. It has to make sense to me. Like, maybe I'm fucking autistic. I don't know, man. It just, you know, whatever. One thing's for sure is I hold the developers up to a higher standard than some fucking Monster Hunter players for sure. This guy hates everything. True, I do. And yeah, that's something I say a lot too. Is like, if I didn't care, then I wouldn't complain. I would just move on. You know, I don't like Halo. This is gonna sound insane, but I really dislike Halo. It does not feel fun for me to play. The movement is way too floaty. I don't like how the power distribution is based on like placement of items on the maps. I don't like how the game is simultaneously extremely tactical and strategic, but also like ridiculously casual. It's never felt good for me to play. But I don't really complain about it too much because I don't fucking care, you know? Like, I don't care. I don't care about Halo, so I just don't talk about it. Now, it's frustrating to me when I see other people enjoying it because I want to enjoy it, sure. But I just don't care enough about it to just, you know, go on a fucking tangent or a rant, you know? Especially when other people like something like that. If someone were to tell me, like, yo, I love Halo. Now, that being said, I did give my friend shit for it the other night. But that's just... I was just being silly. I wasn't being serious. But, you know, I mean, if someone's like, oh, I love Halo, I'd be like, yeah, Halo's really cool. And to be fair, I do like some parts of Halo. And again, that's where it comes around where it's like, oh, it's just not for you. And it's like, no, motherfucker. It is for me. I just don't like it. Like, I love first-person shooters of all kinds, you know? I love games of all kinds, really. Well, most kinds. Whatever. It's whatever. Okay, he's leaving. Cool. Any plans to play Megabonk in the future? I did not realize that it was getting so popular. It's so odd. Like, I saw some people playing it, and then all of a sudden I heard, like, fucking Iron Pineapple or whatever talk about it, and I'm like, oh, I guess this is big right now? I guess Risk of Rain Vampire Survivors is a big thing? Like, what? Okay. I'm not really terribly interested in that genre, unfortunately, so... And I'm not, like, Ludwig, I'm not, like, what's his fucking name? Northern Lion. So I don't really just play whatever's new, because I know thousands of people are going to tune in and give me donations for it, so I have to stick to Monster Hunter, because that's the only thing people give a shit about. That being said, I do really like Stalker Gamma, and I can't wait to stream that more, because I love playing it. And I want to make guide content for that too, because I like helping people. The funny thing is too, it's like, when I think about me making guide content, I always have to ask myself, like, why the fuck am I doing this? It's not like I'm good at these games, but it's just because I want other people to enjoy the thing I do. And I feel like the best way to do that is to encourage them in a way that might be preventing them, you know, encourage them past what might be preventing them from playing. Because I remember specifically when I was playing Freedom Unite years ago, back in 2012 or whatever. Oh boy. And, you know, I was struggling with Plesioth, I was struggling with Kieran, and I would look up advice, and I would not find shit! I would just find videos of speedrunners showing me the monster getting fucking shit on the whole time, and I'm just like, okay, I can't do any of this, like... And so that was a big inspiration for me to make the guide series in the first place, and now anytime I like something a lot, I think I would like to make a guide for this to help other people who might be having trouble enjoying this thing. Whatever. Another thing about me and Halo is just I've never had people to play with. I had Halo 1 when it came out. I had Halo 2 when it came out. I had Halo 3 eventually. But then I stopped getting the other ones, right? I think I have a Halo 2 Collector's Edition box somewhere. It's like the steel box or whatever, like the metal, aluminum, whatever. Like, they're fine games, but like they just don't feel good to play. Like, not at all. Honestly, Reach is probably the game that I would like the most, from what I've seen. I tried playing Halo Infinite with my friends, and it just feels fucking terrible all the time. Especially because of the auto-aim that the controllers get, because it's just like, I feel like when I'm playing, I'm trying to shoot someone, and like, my tracking isn't perfect, but I'm just getting fucking lasered by these controller players, and I feel like I just have no chance. But that's a separate issue. It's a separate issue backed up by data, by the way, because, you know, people like to use controllers more often in that game. Not just because it's an originally like a console game, but because using a controller is just fucking better. I like Monster Hunter because I feel like, generally speaking, my time is rewarded, right? The effort that I put in is... I'm a very intrinsically motivated, right? I don't really care about my character's stats. I don't really care about my titles or my equipment or my gear necessarily, right? Like, I only really care, am I having fun in the moment? Does the thing that I'm doing feel good to do? And Monster Hunter has always been just very satisfying in that regard, right? The funny thing is, I said this before, but like, I saw Monster Hunter once years ago in a magazine, right? And I was like, that looks cool, I'd like to try that out. And then I just kind of forgot about it. And then later on, I found Dark Souls 1. And I was like, oh, this is that game that I saw, because it looked similar enough. And I played it, and I was like, yeah, I think this is the game that I saw, and it's pretty good. I like it a lot. You know, I like Dark Souls 1. It's my favorite Dark Souls game for various reasons. And then, you know, I eventually found Freedom and Freedom Unite, and I was like, oh, no, wait, this is the game. What the fuck? And then I just played a shit ton of it. I gave up after Freedom 1, played through Freedom Unite until, I think, Netcoats Kezu, and then I stopped playing. And then years later, I was like, you know, I've always wanted to make YouTube videos. I've always liked making game videos. They've always kind of been a little bad, but now I feel like I have more of a process, I guess, more of a style, or whatever, more of a reason. I don't know, but you know what I mean? Whatever. I don't know. I have so many twisted horns, dude. This is ridiculous. Sorry, I'm just yapping. Yeah, no horn. I mean, I got horns. I got twisted horns. It's just not the ones that I need. The Majestic Horns. This is the type of thing where I seriously believe, unless you're playing with other people and they got lucky and you didn't, where you would see the Majestic Horns and you'd be like, I don't know where to get that. And maybe you would farm Diablos a few times and you wouldn't get it. And personally, if I fought him like 10 times, I'd be like, I don't think he drops it, man. You know what I mean? That's what streamers do, is yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't think I'm a very good, like, streamer or content creator in general. You know what I mean? I don't really like thinking of myself as that, I guess. Mostly because of, like, the relation to what they typically are like and how they act and stuff. But yeah, if I didn't have... The funny thing is, if I didn't have internet resources telling me that this is where I can get it from, or this is one place I can get it from, and then if I also didn't have confirmation in-game as, you know, getting one of them, then I seriously would have doubts that it even comes from this guy. You know what I mean? And something I really liked about both Dark Souls and specifically Monster Hunter was I often had the most fun during boss fights, right? This just ties into the whole intrinsic motivation thing with me. When I'm going through a Mega Man level, for example, right? Because I played a lot of Mega Man when I was younger, and I got very mad at the games because they're extremely difficult for, like, no reason. When I played Mega Man, I didn't really, like, I didn't love the moments where I was fighting like the small little dudes getting to the boss, right? I want to say I mostly really just enjoyed fighting the bosses because they were the most interesting. I spent the most time fighting when I was with a boss, you know? I spent the most time with them, so I had to actually learn how to fight them. I had to learn how their moves worked. I had to learn where I could stand, you know? I had to learn all this stuff. And there was just a lot of things that I learned throughout the years, things that I liked and things that I disliked, you know, etc. And, you know, Monster Hunter just clicks in a way that, you know, not a whole lot of games do. Both long-term and short-term, you know, intrinsic and extrinsic. Yeah, Hunter notes do fix a lot of the issues of misinformation and, like, lack of information. And I think the way that 5th gen onwards, like, handles things is really good. Actually, I was thinking about this, too, is, I forgot, actually. What was it? There was something I was thinking of earlier, I just didn't say. I don't think it was the hit zones, but that is really nice, too, but I don't know. I don't know. Oops. Yeah, you get item information on an item after you obtain it. If anything, it should be either when you obtain it or nice, or when you fight the monster a certain number of times, right? If there's like a question mark material and it says unlocks information when acquired or after like 5 hunts, then like that would be so much better. Like, give me a guarantee that my time is not being wasted. Warframe has this problem too. Like, they've only sort of recently, I'm assuming they still are, have had like RNG protection, which is basically just like, you know, you have a chance to get something, but if you don't get it, you're also getting like a resource that you can spend to guarantee that you get whatever you're trying to get. You know what I mean? Do we know why 360 helps with aiming bow? It's just like a thing because like you're resetting the thing. You don't have to do it if you don't want to, but it's just because like when you change your aim, you're moving forward, right? So when you do a 360, you can at least do it while staying where you are, if that makes sense. It's not really anything specific to doing a 360 spin. It's just like, given the way the game works, if you want to be more accurate, you can just do what I usually do, which is, you know, just hold R, because you don't move when you do it. Positioning is extremely important in this game. In every Monster Hunter game, despite what some people would say. Okay. Oh, get fucked. 4th gen bow controls makes it painful to go back. I want to say I had the most fun with, well, I used bow a lot in World, actually. That's when I defeated my first Nergigante, it was with bow. But I did have a lot of fun in 4th gen as well, for sure. I don't really remember a whole lot about it. Like, I could tell you the mechanics that were added and changed for Longsword throughout the series, but if you asked me the same thing for like any other weapon, I would not know. Okay. He kind of got moved by the wall he was next to, I think. That was really tricky. I want to get this shiny, honestly. But I can't get it, because I know he could do an instant charge. And it's gone now, so it doesn't matter anyways. I'll go fuck myself. You have a good idea of that for most weapons? Okay. I doubt it, but alright. You dissect the movesets a lot? Okay. So what was added to Hunting Horn? I mean, you know. Speaking of Hunting Horn, I should get back to playing World. The base World playthrough I was doing. That was a lot of fun. Then you can lose 5 times in 30 minutes, still can't beat him. Watch your guide on it more than once. I mean, it's really tough, for sure. If I would recommend that you try to get the, you know, the thing where you run over him when he's burrowing down. That'll be probably one of the more important things to do. But besides that, I mean, you just kind of have to get more familiar with the moveset, kind of. There's a lot of things that can, like, mess you up very quickly, like his beam attack. Like, there's a lot of places you can't be standing because it spits up, like, rock chunks that can hit you and some other stuff, and it's just, yeah, there's a lot. Not to mention, like, his fucking... His roar and his charge. There's just like a Cantor, it's really difficult to deal with. It's just a very tough monster. I wish I had advice I could give you, but I really don't know of any, like, more consistent method. The main reason I use longsword is because that's the weapon I'm most familiar with. I would say maybe use a weapon that you're more familiar with if longsword doesn't work. But even then, you know, I don't know. Jamming Rajang is insane too. Yeah, I've been meaning to make a video on that too. Probably use longsword. World's a cool game, yeah. Mainly use longsword too, yeah. I would say it's a good matchup. But I mean, you know, I just used it because that's the weapon I'm best with. And it's G rank. You have to bring your best, you know. Old and new gen are so different, they don't overlap in your muscle memory. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I don't think I mind to either. Is this gonna hit him? Surely. I'm gonna have to tap the sign. Yeah, shovel chin. You really do be built that way, huh? Okay. I don't think Runner Plus needed that much fucking tracking. Okay, fuck off. Area 7. Okay. Never done Rajang with longsword. I think it's a good matchup if you have, honestly, it could be done with, like, pretty much any weapon. I would really recommend you have evasion skills, though. That makes it a lot more consistent. You can deal with a lot of his bullshit a lot easier. I have a video where I did the G rank training with longsword, and it worked really, really well. That set has evasion on it. That's the only reason I recommend evasion, because I tried it there and it worked really well. That's just the thing with G rank and Freedom Unite, though, is like you have to figure out ways to get around the bullshit, and that can be fun for a lot of people, sure. But again, like, it's just a struggle to find sometimes what that best option is, or what that better option is. Because think about it, like, imagine you're struggling with something and you're trying multiple things. First of all, trying something new is going to take forever because you have to farm for a new weapon, right? That sucks, but you can't really do much about that, right? Let's say you have one of every weapon and you just need to practice and get better with it and to see if that's a better option, right? Imagine you're fighting, like, Plesioth with Gunlance, for example, right? And that's the weapon that I would recommend that you use because it's just very consistent. But imagine someone uses it and they're really bad with it, and, like, they feel like it's not good at all. If they feel like it's really bad, right? So they're just gonna skip it and not think that Gunlance is a good matchup for Plesioth, right? That's a problem, right? Like, there's too much trial and error. There's too much, you know. It just sucks. At a certain point, like, the monsters just need to be designed with more wiggle room and you know, for the player. Because if the fight is too difficult, players are pushed towards more efficient or more optimal ways of playing. And I've said this so many times. If a game is too difficult, the higher the difficulty, the more the player needs to be playing in a specific way And sure, to some people, in some cases, that's great, because, you know, you're playing the game properly. If you can just play the game anyway, then there's no point, right? And it's not satisfying, whatever, sure. To some degree, I do agree with that. But when it gets to a certain point, you're pushing your players into such a specific and narrow way of playing that they don't have any choice in the matter, right? Like you just have to do it a certain way. Or else you're at best, fighting an uphill battle, and at worst, it's just not really feasible or possible, right? And I feel like most fights throughout the series can be done with pretty much any weapon. If you're like stubborn enough, but it shouldn't be that way, right? It should be like, if I'm good with my weapon, my next step is to learn the monster. But that being said, I really do like the idea of monster matchups. Like, it's a very interesting idea, and it can potentially make you enjoy the game in a way that you otherwise couldn't if you just stuck to one weapon. Now, I think, believe in both, right? It's just, I think there needs to be more wiggle room is all I'm saying. Difficulty is a problem. But people just think, no, we need more difficulty. The difficulty isn't high enough, you know? And it's just like, bro, shut the fuck up, please. You don't know what you're talking about. And the problem is, if you're playing Monster Hunter and imagine you get to a fight where you have to use dual blades, for example. Let's pretend that you hate playing dual blades, right? You just really, really dislike playing dual blades, but you have to use dual blades for this hunt, right? That just sucks, doesn't it? Like, that just sucks. Like, you're playing this game the way you like to play it, and then all of a sudden the game just kind of throws this thing in your face, and it's just like, oh, you have to switch to this specific thing, and you have to practice with it and train with it and all this other bullshit. It's like, that's just a bit of an issue. And honestly, it's one that's very difficult to solve, sure. But it's one that I feel like the developers don't even fucking bother to like, try solving at all. Now, the more modern games are a bit better, sure. But then they go the fucking complete opposite direction, right? Sure, you might hate how every monster, or every weapon has a counterattack or some evasion or something like that. I really don't understand why people would have issues with that. I mean, first of all, it's just the type of game anyways, like... That's like saying I don't like fucking 4 Ultimate because they added like, oh god, they added like gauges for every weapon to build up and use or whatever. Like, obviously that's reductive, but you know. Like, I don't like Portable Third because they changed all the animations and I don't like how it works. It's like, it's a different game, bro. Like, you'll learn to adapt to it. Like, people insist on saying like, oh, just adapt. I can't adapt to bad game design, bro. Hey, Miguel. The Horn Hunt is going as to be expected, so not very good. What was I saying? I lost my train of thought. Whatever. Sure. Like, with Omega, I really do feel like there are some options that you just don't have... You should not be using, you know? For a variety of reasons. Like, and the main thing is, like, sure, you can look at the speedrun stats if you really fucking want, but that is completely ignoring how the game is actually played. Speedrunners do not play Monster Hunter like everyone else. Playing like a speedrunner is not the way that people play Monster Hunter. You know what I mean? And I feel like it's just insanely reductive, and it's just like, whatever. It just sucks. Like, if you want to have a conversation about it, then let's have a fucking conversation about it. But like, if you're just gonna say stupid bullshit talking points that don't make any sense, then like, it just like, just leave. Yeah, I love counterattacks, bro. I love countering. I mean,
I liked countering before longsword got counters. Like, that's just, I just like counterattacks. They're fun. When I saw that more weapons were getting counterattacks, I was like, yes, you know? I wasn't like, no, Monster Hunter, the spirit of Monster Hunter. Everyone can just counter. Didn't you know that Lance was the countering weapon? No, it wasn't. Lance was the blocking weapon, dumbass. And the thing for me, like, look, you want to have an opinion, that's totally fine, but please be consistent with your principles. If you're gonna bitch about Lance getting, or, like, you know, Lance's identity being stolen, quote-unquote, by Longsword, which, first of all, is fucking stupid, and you're an idiot, I'm sorry. But if you're gonna be doing that, then why are we not complaining about Greatsword getting a charge attack? Or, like, I don't know, I don't remember if Hammer had charging in first gen. I don't think it, maybe it didn't. I know it didn't have KO, but I think it had charging even in first gen, didn't it? Yeah, Royal Guard's fucking hype, bro. It did in first gen, yeah. See, so, like, why are we not bitching about Greatsword robbing Hammer of its identity because it got a charge attack? Like, give me a fucking break. Like, this is exactly what I'm talking about, you know? Like, if you want to have opinions and all, I just want people to have consistent principles, right? It's just, otherwise you're just complaining about stupid bullshit for other reasons. You're not speaking with logic in mind. You're speaking with, like, your emotions, you know? And that's fine. Your emotions are valid. I'm not saying they're not. But, like, fuck off. If you want to be taken seriously, then you got to speak on the same level as other people. And if you were taking your emotions into consideration, then why are we not taking my emotions into consideration? You know what I mean? Like, it's just whatever. It's fucking stupid. Like, I try my best to be as consistent as possible because I feel like that's just the way you should be. I feel like if something is, if I have an opinion about something one way, then I should have that opinion about it in all other ways that are related. Otherwise, I should refine my opinion further. And that's what I want people to do. I don't want them to just drop what they think because it's a stupid point. I want them to refine what they believe further. Do you not like Longsword having counterattacks because it's robbing Lance of its identity, or do you just not like it because you hate Longsword? Because that's a valid fucking point to have too. It's stupid, but at least be fucking like honest with us, you know? Like, it's just stupid. Right, yeah. The point of the game is to, like, get good with your weapon and, you know, to learn the monsters. Once they start forcing you to like, you know, it's just, I don't know. Again, like, it just really depends. And I think, to a certain degree, some things are good and some things are bad. But, like, I just want, at the core of it all, I just want my time and intelligence to be respected. That's really all I want. And I really do feel like sometimes it's not. And then, of course, I go online and I'll see some people who feel similarly. And then I'll see a lot of people saying, like, oh, you just got to deal with it, bro. You just, you know, oh, you're a tourist. Oh, you know, this or that. It's like, oh my god, dude. Like, you can't have conversations with those people at all. Yeah, Brute Wyverns for short reach mains. Now, they did do something good with Anjanath. I noticed in Rise, at least, where you attack the legs and they have bad hit zones, but once they break, they have pretty good ones. I think I noticed that in World. So, you know, you just attack the legs of Anjanath, they break, and now you can trip him up easier and hit his good hit zones. That's really cool. Also, his legs become better hit zones. That's cool. I like that design a lot. That's a more modern design. Like, they don't do that really for, you know, like Diablos, or, well, Diablos is a flying wyvern, but, you know. I'm not really sure, actually. I don't really play short reach weapons, so I can't really... This has evade extender. It doesn't have evasion or anything. It's really funny when people see me roll through attacks and they're just like, whoa, he must have evasion skills. He can't possibly be good at the game. He's dumped fucking thousands of hours of wasting his life into. Anyways, whatever. I feel like when I complain about stuff, people get this idea that I'm bad at the game, but, you know, whatever. Thanks, Legend. I hope that I can get this horn so I can make this set and I can, you know, make the video and move on and work on Ignactor and hopefully get your guys' help, because I don't know, I don't really have a plan for Ignactor. And the only reason I'm using bow now is because someone recommended it, and it is very, very good. Yeah, people complain about longsword tripping. Now that's the thing too. They complain about longsword tripping despite the fact that every single weapon can trip you. And I have been tripped and launched by weapons other than longsword way more than I've ever been tripped by a longsword. But the thing is, they're not being consistent because they're not actually saying longsword is annoying to play with because they trip everyone all the time. They're saying I fucking hate longsword and longsword users. And that's just such a weird fucking position to have. Like, why? What is wrong with you? But no one wants to, like, grapple with that feeling. That they're just bandwagoning and like, being fucking stupid, you know? Like, I have been launched across maps by Striker, Sword, and Shield. I've been, you know, launched upwards by hammer users and charge blade users. Like, it happens, bro. It's part of the experience. It's like Friendly Fire and Helldivers 2. If you complain about Friendly Fire and Helldivers 2, like, it happens. It's a chaotic game. And in some cases, being hit by a teammate in Monster Hunter is good. It's fun. Yeah, I've been blasted by fucking gun lances too, like, but I don't complain about it because it's just part of the game. If you don't like it, go play another game, you know, like, adapt. Like, the same types of people might say is like, just go adapt. It's just so stupid. They're not complaining about anything other than longsword, and I don't care that they don't like longsword. I'm not gonna act like, oh, it hurts my feelings. I'm frustrated and upset that they're being, like, you know, stupid. They're not being consistent with their principles. And it's just, you know, they're expecting a certain amount level of treatment while not, like, giving us back an equal amount of respect. And it's just stupid, man. Whenever I play longsword in Freedom Unite with other people, for example, I am aware that I can trip my teammates. You know what I do? I'll do the overhead attacks and the stabs almost exclusively, bro. Like, because I'm not a dog shit longsword user. Like, it's like they assume that, like, yeah, if you use longsword, like, you're just, what the hell? But yeah. Yeah, the launching is funny. Dude, when I played Generations, I mained Charge Blade, right? And when I'm in Axe mode... Ow. When I'm in Axe mode, my standing still Y attack would launch teammates that are in front of me. And I would do that on purpose, and we would get mounts from it. Because it's fun! Because it's a good part of the game! But that's the thing, they're not complaining about mechanics that they dislike, they're complaining about a weapon they dislike because they're bandwagoning because they like being elitist and tribalist, and that's just a reflection of their character, and I don't like people who are like that. And I don't think that they should be in the community if we want to have a healthy community. I seriously don't think that. Like, it's not a good thing to have around, having toxic people just be around and encourage other people to also be toxic. Like, what are we doing here? You know, like, what are we doing here? Whatever. People think that, like, longsword is, like, easy, and they think that, like, it's just... Like, some people don't like it because they think it's way easier than their weapon, and it's like, if you really believe that, then just go use it, bro. And they're like, oh no, I don't want an easy game. I want the game to be hard because it reflects positively on my personality. He's going to 11. Yeah, it hasn't been statistically the best in most games, yeah. When aerials were introduced, launch attacks were definitely intended as a positive. Yeah. And, like, I like the idea of hitting an enemy out of a stun or a sleep, you know? I think in some games you can use bombs to free them from paralysis, but I don't know. But yeah, I actually really do like the idea of hitting a teammate out of a stun. That's a lot of fun. That's the one of the things that makes stun a good mechanic. But outside of that, in the cases where most players are going to be experiencing the the mechanic, then it's just, you know, obviously. My problem with stun is that not that it well, it's too punishing, first of all. I would prefer stun to be more consistent and prefer stun to be more opaque. Is that the word? I want it to be more transparent with the way that it works. Maybe giving us a stun meter or something. I don't know. Give me a sign. Give me something. But beyond that, it ties back to how I feel about the game as being too focused on multiplayer sometimes. And while I do think a multiplayer focus is great and fun, it's ignoring the reality of a lot of players where they don't have the chance, they don't have the ability to play with others, or they don't have the desire to play with others, and they shouldn't be punished for that. I don't know. Hey Zoe, I'm just fucking yapping, dude. This whole thing has put me in a bad mood. Yeah, longsword is just another weapon. Yep. And I've said it before, I am fully aware of and actually appreciate some of the limitations of quality of life and stuff like that. Like, I really like item sets. I really do. I think item sets are great, potentially. But I also feel... I like the feeling of going into my item box and knowing where to find things, if that makes sense, right? Of, like, seeing my items here and, like... I don't know. Honestly, a good middle ground for me would be having an item set that, like, puts in your inventory, like, your item set wants these items, and now I can know when I'm short something. Because the main thing for me is, like, I like item sets because I just forget. My memory is fucking terrible because of events throughout my life. You know what I mean? My memory is awful. So if I could have some sort of advice to help remember what I want and what I need, that would be great. That being said, obviously, I like going through the box and knowing where things are and knowing how to get things, because if I don't have to interact with these mechanics in the ways that you do in these games, then I would have no reason to learn where to get these things, right? Imagine in World or in Wilds or whatever, right? Where you're just like, hey, where do you get this item from? Some people might not have that answer. I might not have that answer, right? I don't... Like, demon powder. I think it's like God Bug and Might Seed? Like God Bug extract or whatever. But, like, you know what I mean? And then people be like, okay, well, where can I get a God Bug extract from? And I'll be like, you can do trades, I think. Like, the game just takes care of a lot of things for me, right? And I like that, potentially. There's a lot that goes into that. It's very complicated. But, I don't know. This is more about quality of life, but it ties into, like, the whole elitist, tribalist mentality, and it's just, their talking points and their opinions are just not refined enough, in my opinion. And not to say that they need to, but if they're gonna act like they give a shit, I feel like they owe it to themselves and owe it to the rest of us to respect us enough to be firm with how they believe things and, you know, have it be consistent. Because otherwise, what are we doing? Like, you're just gonna bitch about things to be a fucking complainer? That's what I do, and I'm a fucking loser. Like, don't be like me. But, you know what I mean? This blew my mind. I play Monster Hunter almost exclusively solo. Sometimes I lose my shit with the mechanics. Now you reminded me of the multiplayer factor. It all makes sense. Yeah, I say it before, like, technically, if you're playing solo, unless you're playing a village quest, you're kind of playing the game wrong. And even then, if you're playing without cats, you're kind of playing the game wrong. Only because the game, you know, wants you to play with others. In my opinion, because it doesn't make sense otherwise, the difficulty is to encourage you to work with other people, right? If the game was just easy, right? If the game was easy baby mode, then there would be no real reason to want to seek out playing with others. But this encouragement is potentially good. This friction, this shared trauma sort of thing, basically. I mean, that's obviously a bit of a joke, but could potentially be great, because you could be like, okay, well, I don't want to play with others because I'm shy or this or that, but like, you know, this monster's kicking my ass, right? Like, yeah, exactly. Or wait, what? But yeah, like this monster's kicking my ass. I'm gonna need some help with it, so maybe you know, ask around or talk to your friends or this or that or whatever. And ideally, outside of the context of the game being a local multiplayer game only, because that's an entire different thing itself. Ideally, you can potentially make some good connections there, and that's a great thing. Like that turns Monster Hunter into something far beyond the sum of its parts, you know? Far greater. And, you know, when I hear about and think about people in, like, the first, second, and third games where they have Mindguard, Dundorma, and Locklack, right? I think, like, this is fucking awesome, bro. Having these, like, little worlds that you can go to and, like, meet people and talk to them and help them and have people help you and stuff, like, in theory, that's great. You know... But unfortunately, we don't live in a world where that's really, like, I don't know, you know? I mean, at least I don't. I feel like more and more people are, I mean, in the modern age at least, but even, I mean, it's not like we just woke up one day and things were the way they are, right? Like, the trend has been going for a long time that people just, they don't have as many connections as people maybe once did, right? For one reason or another, and that's, like, we have to come to terms with that, right? Honestly, kind of as a species, but whatever, right? I don't know. I think Longsword's hate started as a joke, slowly evolves into actual hating by dumb people. I think maybe. That's definitely a possibility, for sure. And some people just like to troll, but that's the thing, right? Like, like, regardless of what it is, the fact that people latch onto it and perpetuate it is, like, a problem. The fact that nobody stands up and says, hey, this is, like, not really okay. Like, it just sucks, you know? Like, what are we doing? Like, do we want a community that's toxic and, like, hateful? Or not? Because, like, that's something we have a role in, a part in. We are the community, right? Like... But eventually, enough people, like, you know, were stuck in their ways, and part of why I keep talking out about this bullshit is because I feel like if people don't, then nothing's ever gonna change. And I feel like it should. I don't know. I know a lot of people, they'll hear me say this shit, and they'll be like, well, what's the big deal? It's really not that big of a deal. And, like, I don't know. Maybe to some extent it's not, but to some people it really is. People like me. Feels like brainwashing. Well, that's just the thing. Like, that's just a human nature thing, right? Like, I don't know enough about, you know, the study of humans. I don't even know what it would be called. But someone more intelligent than me would be able to probably give an answer. Why don't we have an unnatural history for, like, how we got here in the Monster Hunter community? Instead of bitching and complaining and being like, actually about the fucking ecology of monsters. I swear to God, dude. Hey, why does this monster do this? Because it's cool, bro! Do you think the Monster Hunter fucking developers are, like, masters of biology and like, animology and shit like that? Like, no. They're literally not. They might know a lot. They might even know quite a bit, right? But, like, they're fucking game designers. They're game developers. They do research, I'm sure. But, like, they're not experts. They're not masters. They're not fucking God. They designed the shit because it looks cool, bro. And Unnatural History, as incredible as those videos are, because they really are, like, I feel like people have taken that shit and they're just like, oh, I'm an expert now. And it's like, dude, shut up, bro. Like, you're not that guy. Like, just relax. Whatever. He's so good with Monster Hunter. If it's me, every time there's inconvenience or a flash of opportunity, I just load and save continuously to get the desirable outcome. When I was younger, I did that a lot. I don't recommend doing it for a lot of reasons. You'll just be better if you don't, and also the modern games, you're not allowed to do that. Like you just can't do that. But you know, yeah. I mean, I did save loading a lot, save scumming a lot. Depending on the fight, I would save and then I would try to do something, and then if I got hit, I would just reload. You know what I mean? Like, and not to say that that's even like wholly a bad thing, but you know, I just don't recommend it. Yeah, I mean, you just get better over time. I've been playing these games for ridiculous amount of times. I did not get ready for that. Whoops. Oh. He's for sure leaving the area, like 100%. If he like tries to burrow after like you interrupted him burrowing, I'm pretty sure like he's just gonna change areas. Save stating is kind of addicted. Yeah. I don't recommend it. Same thing with speeding the game up when you're in combat. Like, it's just not great. There's this one YouTuber I saw who was, I think it was like a Lance player, and like he would speed the game up every time he got hit. And I swear, like if he didn't do that, he would get hit less. Now, don't get me wrong, I do speed the game up sometimes, but I try to make it a point not to, especially when I'm in combat. There's a certain pace of the game that you need to learn, and you can't do that if you're constantly speeding the game up or slowing it down. But when I first started, absolutely, I was speeding the game up whenever I used an item or whenever, you know. I just do not have the horn, no. That was lucky. Oh. I might get hit. Never mind. By the Renopus behind me. Yeah, I speed up when farming materials too, yeah, 100%. Yeah, it is kind of a brain red thing, yeah, because like, when you're in a fight, like, why are you speeding the game up? Like, this is the part of the game that you're supposed to like. You know what's funny too is because I sped the game up so much when I would go mining and stuff like that, I was worried that when I went into 4th gen, because I got a 3DS and I got 4 Ultimate, that I would like stop liking the game because when I would go mining and stuff, right? Like I couldn't speed the game up. I found out that's not the case. Like it's not speeding the game up is actually, it's more enjoyable than you might think, but I still do it, especially because I mean, you know, I'm trying to release videos on at least some reasonable amount of time, but you know, I mean, that being said, 3DS is a lot more portable than my entire ass computer, so yeah. Never played with a ranged weapon before, maybe I should try now that I think about it. I don't have some tips. I mean, it really just depends. Ranged weapons are there's so much that goes into it, but I have a guide video for all the ranged weapons except heavy bowgun. If you want, I mean, you can just kind of do what I'm doing here, because this works really well. Don't overcommit. I mean, pretty much if you play Monster Hunter enough and you know how to play, like if you have good fundamentals, you should be able to play a ranged weapon reasonably well. That being said, there's gonna be so much confusing stuff. Like there's so many stats. Like you look at the ranged weapons and it's just like, what the fuck am I looking at here? Like, huh? And then light bowguns and heavy bowguns are even worse. But honestly, I mean, just pick a bow that looks cool and go from there. Fight like easy monsters before you actually get into it. Always use power coatings, because if you don't, then you're not going to be doing enough damage and the fight's going to take way longer. Wow, he went to sleep fast. But yeah. And yeah, I've never save scummed the drop rates. Depends on the game, depends on the monster. If you're playing Freedom Unite, fighting Basarios or Gravios with a water pierce bow like the Daimyo one is very good. Fighting Lao Shanlung with a pierce bow and shooting his back is very good. But like some monsters are just not very good with ranged. Like I would argue that Blangonga is not very fun. That being said, Rajang and G rank especially, like I've seen Bo's speedruns and I think Bo is pretty good against Rajang, but maybe only because he's so big. I'm not 100% sure. Horny. But yeah, I don't save scum as well because I'm trying to make the videos and I want to get an accurate representation of what the game is like to play. Yeah, Blangonga is not fun. I agree. I like Copper Blangonga more than Blangonga, which is funny. I hate Copper Blangonga's random fucking stone throwing move though, but besides that, he's a lot more fun. Yeah, if you're a Great Sword Hunting Horn main, I think you might have a decent time with it. It's really gonna depend. If you're in Portable Third, I would say, gosh. I have a couple of videos. Honestly, the main advice I would give would just be like to check out the videos that I've made because I think those would explain things better than I could right now. I'm not a bow gun main or a bow main, like not even a little bit. I know more about it in World, but even then, like I never got into the mechanics, the nitty gritties. But I have a video for Volvidon using a light bow gun that can show pretty decent, like an interesting way of using it. And I have I mean, if you can do what I'm doing here with the Diablos, this will be a really, really consistent and very good way to deal with Diablos. I would just recommend getting a Evade Extender for sure. Yeah, if I save scummed or if I just spawned in the items, I wouldn't realize. Like, I'm doing the farming myself. I'm not just giving myself the items like I could be. Like, I could just be using give all materials, and I did that on accident, or I did that to test something once. Oh god, I didn't just do it right. Okay. I did that once to test something, right? And I accidentally saved after doing it. And that fucking sucked. I had to use an old save, speaking of which I should probably use an old save. But like yeah, I could just do this where I have all the materials, like 99 of whatever. But like what's the point of that, right? I'm not getting the experience. Like when I talk about the armor, I'm not just talking about the armor, I'm not just talking about the stats or anything like that. I'm also thinking like, hey, how oops. Like at least recently, obviously, because I didn't start out doing this. I started thinking like if this part is just like a bitch to farm for, or maybe people just don't want to farm for it even if it's not too difficult, or even if I didn't have too much trouble doing it. Like for example, the Rathalos set. Then I found out you can actually just use the baggy coil and get the same skills, and that's what I recommend. And honestly, I just use that anyways. You know, I wouldn't know that if I didn't have to farm for it, right? So. Basarios was the moment I realized I needed to play more than a single melee class. Yeah. When I first fought Basarios, I did look up advice on how to do it, right? But that's because, like, you know, the game had been out for so long, I wanted to look up advice and stuff, right? And I couldn't find advice for most things, but I do remember specifically someone recommended getting, like, the water hammer, like the anchor, and, you know, that worked pretty well. And, like, they said, like, get the water hammer, the anchor, and then, like, do the super pounds to attack the chest with the shockwave specifically, and I did that, and that's how I beat him first time. Because I was struggling so much with Basarios, I couldn't beat him. It was a wall for me. And then I looked it up, and they were like, yeah, get the anchor hammer and use super slams to hit his chest with the shockwaves, and I did, and it worked. And I was like, yeah, let's go, you know? So... Have you played any Monster Hunter game with the HRP system? Do you like it, or is it inferior to Key Quest for you? You mean like World and Wilds and Rise and stuff? Like where you level up? Like, it's fine. I mean, I don't really mind at all. Their first wall, I mean, Freedom Night flashbang, by the way, or jump scare. This is so much louder. My first wall was probably, well, to be fair, my first wall. Come on. God, this is so slow. My first wall was Kutku, and then I stopped playing because of that. Like, this was too hard for me to do. I could not figure it out. So I stopped playing Freedom 1, and then I went to play Freedom Unite. Now, my walls in Freedom Unite, definitely Kezu. I didn't, well, I don't know if I fought Cephadrum that much. I didn't struggle too much with Cephadrum. Like, the, Liver of Legend quest kind of sucks. I mean, there's a reason I remember. Kangala was tough, for sure, but, like, Kutku I figured out finally. All of these were fine. But, like, Kezu fucked me up, and, like, I kind of got stuck there. And then also, obviously, Plesioth, too. Besides that, I mean... Blangaga was pretty tough, but I don't think I got stuck on it too much. Garuga was fine. No, Garuga I remember specifically feeling like... No, Garuga I really liked, actually. I really liked Garuga. And I remember when I first did Troublesome Pair. Is it here? Somewhere? Okay, is it here? Where's Troublesome Pair? Is it here? Here. When I first did this quest, I realized, like, oh my god, the game has prepared me for this. And that's partially why I want the future games and every game to work that way. Because when I fought Kutku and I struggled, but then I eventually got it, that was great. And then I used that knowledge to fight Garuga, and I had a pretty good time. And then I learned more about how to fight that type of monster. And then I fought Rathalos and Rathian, and I was like, oh my god, this is a progression. This is a line of monsters that the game is preparing me for the future one. That's masterful design, legitimately. And then they fucked it up and never did it again. Like, not really, but like that's reductive. But you know what I mean? Like Monoblos is fine, I think. I mostly used Longsword when I first played. Shogun. The funny thing is, I didn't have much trouble with Shogun until later, until I started making like a video. Or videos for it, because, like, I don't know why, but, like, I just didn't struggle with it too much. But then after I was trying to farm it and stuff, I was like, damn, Shogun fucking sucks. Like, he is just an asshole, you know? Basarios, like I said, I used the hammer, so that was a bit of another wall, I guess. And then... I gotta get ready for work. Kushala, I remember loving, like, so much. Kushala was, like, when I heard the theme, I just had to stop fighting and being like, oh my god, this is great. Tigrex, I didn't really struggle with too much. I'm pretty sure at that point I learned about the Greatsword thing, and I did that. With the Ravager Blade Plus. Yeah, Diablos, I don't think I had too much trouble with. Or at least not enough to, like, you know, get really stuck, if that makes sense. Chameleos, I think it was fine. Etc., etc. More of the same. Teostra is more of the same. Blah, blah, blah. I never did this one, of course. But then I got to Nekot, and... this one. Old Jungle Lightning, specifically. And it's not like I couldn't clear it, because I did, actually, I'm pretty sure. But I was trying to farm it, because I wanted to make the, like, True Devil Slicer or whatever, you know what I mean? Yeah, Plesioth is optional. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I was trying to farm this, and it was just such a bad time, dude. It was so awful because it took forever. I had to, like, I was so passive the whole fucking time because he's just doesn't have many openings, and then if I did overextend just a little bit, the motherfucker would just one-shot me, bro. Like, it just sucks. So I stopped playing. Like, at that point, I turned on cheats to, like, the one that, like, instantly clears the quest, and I just kind of went through the game. I went to the guild hall, I did all the things, I saw Yukonlos, I think, but I never fought anything, and then I just kind of stopped playing for a really long time. And that was, I don't have that save anymore. I don't have any of my original saves, but that was this guy. That's the name that I used. And when I used to play as a male character, basically this guy. And I designed him off of how I made him look before, with this haircut and everything. So this is just my main character basically. But yeah, I don't have that save anymore. So it's just this guy. This is the character I used for the stream playthrough, and I still haven't gone through G rank with this, but yeah, I only stopped here. I think I was playing with others. Yeah, Keza was a big trouble for me. Yeah, Liver Legend sucks. I do play with a gamepad, yeah. Yeah, raw dogging for Demon Knight full great sword is just torture sometimes. Yeah, seriously. It is a big hassle to farm more sets and weapons, especially because you're not even making anything permanent, right? Like, you're going to be replacing those anyways, but I mean, that's just kind of the game, unfortunately. You know what I mean? And there are options that are less annoying. That's the thing, though. The game doesn't really... I don't know. You could always just make the iron stuff, right? Like the iron or like the bone. Like, it's tough. It's tricky, right? The only thing that makes sense to me, again, is that this is designed in a way for you to collaborate with your friends, with your team, right? Because since you only see so many items here, and you have to see the rest by actually upgrading them specifically, you don't really know how to get to what item, or what items even exist, right? Until someone else finds it and like maybe tells you about it, or you find it yourself, right? Maybe you tell your friends. And there's a lot of fun that could potentially come from that, but the funny thing is, it's completely fucking ruined. Because it just doesn't work that way. In a perfect world, the internet would not fucking exist. And also, I'm just kidding. But like, in a perfect world, right, you and your friends would just be playing this in isolation, and you would not have really much experience otherwise, right? In the series, you wouldn't have much experience in anything. You would never have played the game, at least initially, right? Obviously, I'm not saying like, you know, whatever, but and you guys can all figure out the game on your own, like together rather, right? You can all just figure it out together, and that can be a very fun collaborative experience. Unfortunately, a lot of what could be a mechanic or a progression or whatever is just overridden completely by just Googling the answer. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I don't know what weapon I can use in 3-star village. You'll just go look at the weapon guide on GameFAQs, right? Or, oh, I don't know what weapon comes after this. Like, just go look at the weapon trees. And I'm not saying that those things are bad or like... Yeah, I mean, in a perfect world, yeah, the games would have more information, honestly. But, I mean, if you think about it, right? This is the type of game where it's kind of best if you took your own notes, you know? If you took your own notes and you shared it with your friends, and they took their own notes and they shared it with you, and it was literally an adventure that you all were going on together, helping each other out. Because if you're just doing this alone, it's just fucking crushing, man. It's too much for one person. It's too much. And even if you get to the end on your own, without any help from anyone, no online, no anything like that, like, I don't know. To me at least, like, what's the point, right? Like, I stand at the peak, right? On my own. Like, okay. What now? On to the next mountain to climb, right? Like, it's just, who cares? But, you know, like, I don't know. Obviously, I don't know what they intended, because I don't know if we have enough, like, interviews or what. And obviously, I'm not saying that like there weren't information back then. I mean, obviously they had like the official guides and stuff like that, right? Yeah, Elden Ring. Don't even get me started. But I don't know, man. I just feel like this game, it doesn't really lend itself well to that, if that makes sense. Because, again, the game does get so difficult, especially if you're playing alone, that when it holds back information, it just feels unfair. It feels like it's kicking you while you're down. You know what I mean? Like, it sucks. It's disrespectful. It's, insulting. It sucks. But when you play with others, it can be kind of fun because you disperse that sort of frustration across multiple people, right? When you guys go into a hunt, when you guys go into a G-rank quest or something, right? Like, look. Whoops. Fuck. Great. But imagine you guys are, like, you and your friends are gonna go into a quest, right? And you guys don't know it, but you guys are, like, under-geared. Like, heavily under-geared, right? Let's say you're going into high rank 5, HR 5, and you're doing, I don't know, this one, right? Or whatever. It doesn't matter, right? You're doing the 2 Shogun Centaurs. Maybe you kill the first one fine after, like, 30 minutes or so, but you either time out or you just triple cart to the next one. If you were alone, that would be really disheartening, right? Oh, I'm in the way. That would be super disheartening. But, or to some people. Obviously, there's some fucking idiots who are just like, oh no, I just want to kill. Whatever, who cares? I don't care. I'm not talking about you. You're not special. But you know what I mean? If you're playing with other people, the idea is you can disperse that frustration across everyone. To me, when I'm playing with others, whenever I fail, I always think, hey man, that sucks. We'll get it next time. Well, let's rethink our strategy. Let's try it again, you know? But when I'm playing alone, what do I have? You know? Like, when I'm playing alone, it's just like, it's just me. I don't have anyone to lean on. I don't have anyone, who needs me to lean on me. It's just me suffering on my own. And I'm fucking tired of being alone, you know? So, and I'm not the only person who feels that way. Anyways, whatever. It's whatever. I don't have a point. I'm just yapping again. I most of the time don't have points, but hopefully, yeah, or you laugh it off. Hopefully that makes sense about partially why I feel the way I do about certain things, because it's just so frustrating, and I know it's probably uncomfortable to come into a stream and just hear me fucking bitch and complain all the time. Like, I don't want to be that way. I don't want to do that. But yeah. I'm hungry. I'm gonna go warm up another pizza and get ready, mentally prepare myself for work. Thanks everyone for hanging out. Links down below to Twitter, Twitch, Discord. Follow me on Twitch. Like and subscribe on YouTube. Yeah, that's another reason why I try to, like, not let it go, or hold it in, is because, like I said earlier, if I can say something stupid and if I can look like an idiot but it helps someone, then I'll do it. So my hope is that when I do complain, other people can feel validated, and I don't want people to feel vindictive. I don't want people to hear what I'm saying and be like, yeah, he's right, the game sucks, because that's not what I'm saying. I just want them to feel like they're not alone, because I know what that feeling is, and it's fucking horrible. And when you feel alone and then you go look for support and then you feel even more alone because no one is accepting and everyone's just telling you it's easy actually, like, what are we doing? Like, what's the point? You know? Hopefully that's understandable, because that sucks. And that goes beyond the game, right? Like, the game is hard, sure. The game is difficult, it's punishing, it's brutal, it's disrespectful, it's insulting. But then if you have to be alone too, like, the game's fun when it works. It's just when it doesn't work, and then the developers kind of, honestly, they're a little lazy, or they don't know what they're doing sometimes, honestly. It just kind of sucks that we have to deal with it. And I hate when I see people in the community just make excuses for them and other shit like that. And they're like, oh, but it looks cool, or oh, but it's just hard. You just have to practice. And it's like, that's not my struggle here. When I was playing Savage Omega, I was having a good time learning how to use Sword and Shield. That's not why I was upset with the fight. I was upset with the fight because I was feeling like I was being limited, like, unnecessarily, because I was alone. Again, it's always because I'm alone, it's always because I don't have the information, because they're not bothering to give it to me, and I don't have anyone else to tell me. I don't have anyone to play with, so that maybe they can see something I didn't. You know, like all these things that they assume that is going to happen when people play their games, it just doesn't fucking happen. Like, I don't know. And I think that's a problem. I think that's something the developers need to consider and try and figure out. And I feel like the fucking community needs to stop being so shitty. But that's Tales old as time. And that's why I wanted to make this guide series, is because I don't want people to be struggling alone. If anything, I want them to enjoy what they're doing, right? And that's where I am right now. And I'm just yapping now. No one asked me, but I'm just talking. Whatever. Oh, I'm tired. My throat hurts. I've been talking. I don't have a drink to whet my whistle. I'm gonna go. Thanks for being wonderful. Sorry for being obnoxious. You guys have a great day. I will see you in the next one. I wanted to do another stream for this because, you know, hopefully we get Majestic Horn next time. If not, it'll still be fun to hang out. Hopefully you guys are having a great time. I hope you guys are playing games and enjoying yourself and living life. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Like and subscribe. And follow me on well, you can follow me on Twitch if you want, but like no one uses Twitch because it sucks. Okay, bye.